Holy cow. Oh, so much going on in the world. The problem with these bozos is they're doing it from a place of limitation that is so blasé at this point because it is a digitally limitless economy. And we have the opportunity to do the Canadian dream, play it out, play the UN Canadian dream out, and organize on project so that we can fucking get our shit together. We've got a desertification issue. We've got weather modification issues. We've got those burn rays from space, those concentrated solar energy that they're using to start the arsons. I can't possibly fathom a time where there'd be such a people that are not doing the right thing are absolutely gorging themselves to a level that is debilitating. Like for us to have had to go through this thing where we get the green climate scam fed upon us, shoved down our throats, just the grift that resulted, not an iota of anything to anything natural. We get this grift out of it, and we're doing it for years only to have them turn around and create AI. Like, we're going to build that. Like, we have to build it, guys. We're your workers. And if you didn't take that income generator from my bank account, by now we could have been doing our own thing, letting this thing pay for itself. We all still have to take place in the market so the tax machine can keep rolling for now. That's fine. We have to get out of this. And these guys do have duper's delight where they get the smile because they know how bad they are. They're despicable people. And just what they're hiding in space, you want to call it space still. It's not space. It's a continuum, and you can't access it unless you got these guys' La La Land spaces tech. Like, they're building themselves out in a bubble that doesn't really access the rest of the multiverse because they've stunted themselves and arrested their development, and now their egos are just flying at the continuum. But where we are at is we are learning to listen with our upper dimensions. And that is a beautiful experience. You can live in the depths of hell, or you can live in the heights of heaven. Why are we fucking around with hell when we know about heaven? We gotta calm down. This billionaire, I don't want to call it a delight, but that's the only way I would use that word. That's not a word I use because it is exactly that, delight. And listening to them, watching them, it could leave your soul in ruins. Why should we jeopardize and give up all that is abundant within us just to be satisfied with mass production and passive consumption? Mass production? You don't need it anymore. With the Hertz frequency model now established and intact, again, Hertz frequency is deeper than DNA. Each piece of DNA has a Hertz frequency, and the whole DNA chain follows that same Hertz frequency. So we can take that out of healthcare now that we can readjust ourselves and live for 150 years because we can just slow our arc. It's an arc your life. These guys are trying to rush a bunch of arcs. They're trying to get you to peak near fucking 18, die by 80. It's too hard to do anything else for them. They're just so base and basic. Sitting here fucking around with trillions of dollars of deficit. Why? When we can be fucking printing money and assigning it to project. Paying people the same pay structure we have now. Just got to recognize that these guys are already doing that. We're not in the free market anymore. These guys have a lending machine. It's called a field, an asset and a liability field. And it's plugged into the back of the market. And they feed them. 5 fucking families feed them whenever they want. And that unleashes new money to the governments. It's not coming in from tax bucks anymore. That's just show. That's just show. That's why they are so bound and determined to spend us onto our knees. So we lost the series to the Japanese. Thank God it wasn't to the US, because we can't handle that right now. But when we're outplayed, we're outplayed. Like, that guy got in our heads. That guy fucking ruined our series for us. We played a good game, but we made a lot of sloppy moves. And it's no wonder. We had him until the 9th. And then it was, of course, an amazing turnaround when they got our bases loaded and struck us out. But then we got their bases loaded and struck them out. Thank God, because that clears the American contingent. If they'd have won in that inning, we'd have had to suck ass to the Americans. And we're not doing that. All in all, I think everybody agrees it was a great series. And it was nice to have the Jays in the World Series for a change. That was really nice. But anyway, enough about sports. Like, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that because there's other things to be doing. Like, don't you think there's richness in eradicating poverty? There's that backpack company that makes little beds. Okay? They can carry them around in the day. They pop them up at night. They can sleep in relative warmth and dryness. Until we get them sharing how to do things and doing them. Canada was based on sharing how to do things and doing them. They're taking a Gord Downie line, the Liberals. It's like a knife in my chest. First of all, denying my existence. Now using all of his lines to steal the resonance. They were so jealous of him. So jealous. There's not one of them that's not completely jealous of Gord Downie. I'm talking to you, Mark Carney. Fucking sitting there. We want to build big things. No, it's help you build enormous things. This is not big, what you're planning. AI revolution? Woo, whippy-doo. The cars are driving themselves. Great. That sounds fun. Can't wait to fucking do that for the afternoon. Holy shit, this is fucking scary as hell. What the hell happens if this car malfunctions? Okay, that's cruising. Taking things that aren't broke and applying improper fixes is not resonant. If you don't be resonant, you do not achieve genetic development. That's why species are dying off like crazy. We are neglecting our upper regions. It's so twisted and thwarted and damaged by now. We're sitting there on this collective field and we've fallen right into what they wanted of us. A bunch of little, this is what they're teaching our kids right now. A bunch of little narcissists with only their own orbit, and everything else is dangerous. They have taught our children that while we weren't looking. They turned away from trying to get us to come at each other that way and taught it quietly to our children in the last decade. You look at the Disney fucking team. You can't say Disney that you're anything but a total predator on children. Like, I'm sorry, but that is absolutely unacceptable. The subplots, let me even stomach watching one of their fucking shows and I'll nitpick the subplot. How about we do that for a little while? I'm going to open a new YouTube channel and start a podcast. I think it's a good Sunday evening practice. Have a bunch of guests on. Why not? We need a new podcast. We need something from the center. I want the center of both parties to walk right out the middle. Sitting there bickering. Of course Pierre is better. He's fucking, look at his ideas, man. He wanted to eradicate poverty. Like, he was big on eradicating poverty. And he was big on, again, I don't see the crime problem yet. I see a bunch of very fucking belligerent certain type of cultures that are walking around here with stink face on and are not allowed to be doing that because you're not invited if you're going to put a stink face on like that. We got a bunch of that to deal with. But no offense, no disrespect, but Middle Canada, buddy, just get up there in Middle Canada and let's get some Koreans and some Japanese and some Hong Kong people in there. Get some Indians, more Indians, you Indians, but not you Indians. Because there's a certain class among them that took all those security positions that have nobody's best interest in mind, and they do not belong here. But anyway, his immigration plan to close the door is a fair and accurate one. It needs to happen until we can assess different pathways. Just sitting there watching them just spike the East Indian population by 10%. No, you're moving militants. You've got a militia. You're whatever. Sitting there, every single block of our city streets got Native Indians running around it, bleeping into their little magnetic infrastructure. Do you know the wear and tear a magnetic infrastructure puts on the cement? It's absolutely devastating for cement, let alone steel. Magnetic infrastructure, be damned. We don't need it. We don't need that kind of monitoring. Thank you very much. It's so macabre. Walking around, security, like circling the streets. Dude, this is Canada. Our government invited you for nefarious purposes, and we are done with you. What else did he want to do? Not phase out, not cut the public sector, which looks damn good on you, Essentials. Essentials didn't even go home during the COVID. Essentials making us bump up against you, overexposed to all of us, bumping up against you. We should have sent that whole thing automated. The public sector should have been automated during the COVID to the extent that it was possible. Put on hold, all sorts of shit. Yeah, you're about to get sent home. And why? Because he has to. He has to. He's a globalist. Canada does not matter to this guy. It's true. We all say it, and it's true. And by the way, we're coming for a mainstream media outlet. We're about to get a conservative to buy CTV. Kevin O'Leary, can you please buy CTV? Like, what are you doing, man? Buy CTV and let's get that thing right-winged. We need a right-wing media channel if there's going to be a left-wing media channel. Are you kidding me? That's the way the Americans do it. We didn't do it in Canada. You have devolved us to that point, CBC. For what? Billions of our dollars? So anyway, he wanted to send them home, retired, and not replace them. It was a really nice approach to thinning out the public sector, which has to happen at this point because it was way too early. They wanted this ballooned public sector because it was all about control, all about disease, all about inadequacies, all about fostering poverty. So these people could just generate GDP with the 9, 10, 11 subsidiary fucking supply chains reaming off the hospital network. They just love it. It's part of their gig. And that is just so horrifying. How can you even stomach it, people? Voted for this. Who voted for this? You voted Liberal? Why? Because you think you have some ideal in your head that represents progress? No, I need a conservative hat. I need a conservative hat because we have to walk away from the whole thing. A big old centerpiece. Let's leave. Let's make our own income generator, assign our own amounts, let the thing keep rolling, but let it expand. And as we do that, we address food insecurity. Forget security. We're talking about an evolution beyond that way of thinking. Authority, security, these are not real words. They're brand new Chinese English. No offense, China, but you really got to understand that the way you do things, I can't jive with it. If there's no safety in it, there's no fun in it. It's just all about total control. Total control. Just to keep the government coffers rolling. but it's a digital economy, and that is essentially limitless, and we need to live above debt. Can't you picture your life working 3 months a year, having the rest of your life to explore richness? If we would just cooperate, clean up our poverty by putting it to work for itself, taking that tract of middle Canada and developing it completely, doubling our population, why not? You can live on middle Canada. It's a little chilly in the winter, but not as chilly as the north. The north is colder and people live there, but with warming, you never know. We might get some nice sun. But you got to understand about warming. The earth has her own interest. She is warming so that we may, more of the time, enjoy the fruits of her offerings, which is divine creativity. People, you need to be functioning on an upper level where you're projecting realities, you're synthesizing information, you're directing traffic, moving in several directions, cooperating, communicating, analyzing, synthesizing. This is what life is about, and we can get there. My solid plan, even, is good enough. Just make the small medical devices that are needed, reinstate Reich's codes, which he already figured out, and so have these guys. The vaxxers are just using detrimental coding, nothing but detrimental coding in the vaccine. And now that they're trying to access the genes, you expect us to sit here and go, yeah, we trust you because your track record's so good that you're going to do proper gene editing. There is no gene editing. They're just working the frequency. And because they have such a tenuous track record of pulling people's basic core functions out of alignment, they cannot be trusted. Gene editing is not going to cure cancer, guys. There's Rife's frequency at the base of it. Every gene string has a base frequency. Every cell structure has a base frequency. And by understanding them, we move them. And we can have handhelds and do ourselves and do each other. We start there. We start by saying, listen, guys, Sarah Newton was attacked by you. She had an income generator in the bank account that she lured you to put there. It was the only legal identity that you could put it in that night. And I captured it, made a copy, which you stole the next morning, and the original stayed in my file. So you took that file back from me, you debanked me, which you deplatformed me several times. It just keeps going. And I want us to recognize that we too have the opportunity to generate wealth and assign it in ways that are needed, that make sense, that bring about the end to death by starvation. That is terrible, guys. There's no food banks in Africa. There's no food banks in Nigeria. When they can't eat for days. There's no gardens. There's no weather work. Harp, why can't you be an instrument for good, Harp? Harp knows the frequencies. It's the frequency generator. It captures the frequencies of the ionosphere and directs them. Why doesn't it just do gentle rains where they're needed? We need to gently rain over Africa for quite a while now. We can take cells from Vancouver and transmit them. Vancouver doesn't need that much rain. Doesn't need to sit and get soaked like that all year. We just need to move those storms. And we can do that. I've moved storms before on mushrooms one night. Just moved the storm. Settled it right down. I did that myself because I have always allowed access to my upper levels. And people would call it manic, but it's not manic. It's channeling. I channel. And that's why I get in truth bomb mode. Sitting here, we're starting to practice with nukes again. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. If they're letting off nukes, something's wrong. And I don't mean maybe they're testing the nukes for the space debris that's coming. It could be aliens. But understand, we've been under alien influence for 100 years now. We got told, give up nukes and you'll get every access to heaven. It was a simple barter. And we said, no, we're too scared to give up nukes. So these guys said, well, we'll give you access to hell. And it was just them finding the frequency for high enough levels of consciousness. But because they're so overwhelmed by the nonsense reality that they're living in, remember, they're trying to be at the very center of the whole earth, profiting off it, living immune to it, directing its course, all because he thinks if he lets go of control for 1 second, the whole world falls apart. That is toddler narcissism. That's one of their delusions. But you got to understand, these people are so sick. We have to start to work out past them. We have to just be like, it's a digitally limitless economy, bros. Light theory goes deeper than genetics. And light theory has already been proven. The map of the human body has already been created. He found them all out. It's easy. Take the cell, blow it up 65,000 times. You can see the light frequency in it. Get that light frequency into a Hertz generator and generate the sound frequency from the light frequency. And that sound frequency can be altered, it can be pulled back into position when it falls out of line. And you got to understand that the manifestations are going to change the more we're able to. We're going to look more. Remember how beautiful I used to be before they zapped my heart? I don't have my heartbeat anymore because these guys took it from me, took it out of the realm of the physical. So I used to be so vibrant and pure. And, eating the pesticides, things like that, it's left me with kind of traces of dinge on my skin. But I used to be so pure of energy, and I had a trajectory that could have gone probably 120 years at that point. Before I ate the pesticide and had my heart energy zapped, well, they had to kiss me. They fucking pretended they were Gord. At the time, they were infiltrating consciousness. They were walk-ins, and it was really gross. And they kissed me in a park, and out went my heartbeat out the back of my head. It was really gross. And when they were able to channel Gord, it was just so nice because I got to spend an extended period of time with Gord. And when you say you want to build big things, you acknowledge the fact that you're stealing from Gord Downie, you piece of shit. You acknowledge the fact that you're stealing from Gord fucking Downie because you want his resonance with people. Enormous things, triggered, hip, awesome. How dare you be so manipulative? Liberals, let's take the center and walk right out of this fucking madness. Conservatives, you're showing signs of coming with us. But I'm not sure why we're going so anti-Republican when the Republicans, again, without the trade war is absurd. It's absurd right now. But the Republicans are organized and disciplined, but they're still limited to the deficit and the debt. And they haven't seen beyond it yet. So a nice big group of blue collars, out we get with all of the technology, all of the know-how, blue collars, we have everything. And I want this revolution moving forward. You're going to steal, help me build enormous things? How dare you steal? Oh God, Rosemary knows all about it. Vassie maybe. She's just so insular, it's just easy. But I think she's turning conservative, Vassie. It would just be nice to see a right-wing media source. If we're going to blatantly propagandize, how dare they come at Pierre like that? That is so manipulative to seniors. Look at that kid. He's so pure-hearted. He's just Oh yeah, Mark Carney slides in a little bit of fucking Mardi Gras about this kid's security clearance again. First of all, he already got the security clearance at a prior job. Why can't we just admit that fact? And second of all, when it's time, dude, when it's time. We don't need him having it right now because he has access to more information right now. Don't you understand? That's strategic. Like, come on. It's so basic. He's just weaving in, like, just a pervert weaving a textile of baby flesh. Oh my God. Enshrining gene editing. Let's see where this goes. But knowing light theory and being conscious of light theory from the medical community, we can then take light theory to the production capacity. Every component has a SKU. And if you make that SKU number, then that component a factor of its frequency, even if the component has several frequencies within it, you can create whatever you want. We load the components and print in perfect symmetry. We are talking synthetics based on light, not chemical molecular, light. And all you need is that SKU number with the component number and the Hertz frequency of said component, and AI will build it. AI, whatever. I don't want to say artificial intelligence. It's a machine, right? It takes all of our data. All of these cameras in the whole world are mining data that is used to build the stuff of AI. That's why we have to endure a hyper monitored life. There was no need for a hyper monitored Canada. We don't need the full camera system, which you are desperately trying to replace and upgrade to get your clear HD footage. Why? Easier to tamper with. Clear HD footage, very fucking dangerous. Look at what happened to me. I lured him. I said 3 days earlier, I said, I am going to have to do this so that I can watch them engineer footage. And sure as shit, they did. I didn't do the things that were on that camera. I knew exactly what I was doing. I had no choice. The barcode was there, trying to pull magnetically the biogenetics into the one corner so the person could never live beyond its own geofence. Projecting everything, pulling it in through a geofence, a completely asocial from surroundings. Your own geofence. You pull things through the geofence. That is no way to run the internet. And when they were attacking me, I survived through barcode theory. Barcodes. I was open to the realm where this certain transaction was brewing. And I jumped in on it because they attacked me. They put the phone line through my YouTube that I picked up and heard them on the other end. And I'm having a two-way on YouTube. And I disappeared, but they were stuck in my machine from that point. And I had access to all their programming. And while they were trying to embed this income generator in 5 identities, all of their calls started getting intercepted through me, and they didn't know where I was or who I was, so it took them a long time to even notice I was changing things. That's why it was such a give and receive. I was responding, and they were responding to me. Oh, why did they program that? I thought they were going to program this. Well, we must have to do that. And they were so stupid about it because it's everything I needed them to do, they did. And it was completely detrimental to the biocontrol thing. So anyway, these guys then were trying to biolocate the individual and assign a barcode to them. So that barcode that comes at the bottom of your grocery bill is your barcode. So that, oh no, somebody only has to look at your last bill and they get everything. It's like so dangerous to have that much information floating around. But the barcode was intended to follow you. That QCCR code was always going to be yours on the bottom of a receipt, a printed fucking receipt. That much information following the individual around is not good. So what I did was made it impossible for them to barcode me because I was the prototype, because they needed one person willing to pick up that phone, capable of it, able to do it, to find it. They said they invited 25 people in the world that they thought were smart enough, and I only got in at the last minute. No, it was me all along, guys. You knew who I was. I'm prophesized. Gord and Sarah can channel Queen of the South and Jonah. We are prophesized. We were seen as two people that would witness the Queen of the South and Jonah, and you missed them. That is not on us. We could both channel both people, both gods, both goddesses, both Christian saints, and as a result, we had full realization. And as a result of that, I bring you light theory, the exploited, 100 years exploited light theory. Big deal. The book's out soon. But basically, I had to use 5 barcodes to protect myself. I created an anti-geofence, essentially, through the barcodes I was carrying. And I used them like reflectors every time they tried to apply. Well, we should be able to geofence this individual. We want to be able to seal a geofence on any individual we want and then take over their interactions. So I had to keep banging on the geofence magnetically. And that's when that 4th corner came out of the barcode at the very start of all this. And then the last night, I had no choice but to bick it quickly. Not this. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Sorry, guys, I didn't do that. I went click to make sure, because they had attacked me again in my new space, which they had been doing for 7-8 years. Every time I got to a new space, I got fucking infiltrated. Who was it? I said it was Google, Facebook, fucking Microsoft, Elon, Bill Gates. I'll never forget him. He's a real dirty man. The way he handled my last 3 machines. Oh God, you should have saw how much script Microsoft had running in the back of my machines at times. I had access to all of its 3D printers, everything. I had access. Nobody would witness it for me though. And now I'm stuck to tell my story. But tell my story I will. Tell my story on YouTube. I'll sit here looking like I do. Like I used to be so pretty, but now I'm just like screwed. Sitting here fucking changing my life day by day, getting over it, getting renewed, trying to live the healthy life on top of it. You know what I mean? Not screwed. But we got this budget coming down and it's just putting us on our knees for 40 years. We can't meet a 5% NATO target right now. There's no need for that. There's no need to meet a 5% NATO target. Like, what do you see on the horizon that you would think a 5% NATO target was something that we should find attractive? And you just tell us we find it attractive and then that's it? The CBC tells us we find that attractive and what we do? Is that how it goes? Well, we don't find the NATO 5% attractive. Trump, that's not a victory for you. Blowing up drug boats in Venezuela? Good, Nigerians do have a problem with Christian murder right now. And they can step up or we can help. But it should be time to get that solved. And putting tariffs on Nigeria is not going to help. It's going to take away from their military spending. If they need to get in and get these people cleared out, are they killing Christians or are they killing entitled white people? I'm not sure. I'm not close enough to the scene, but I know it keeps my friend up at night because it's happening near his area. The dog scratching next door. Hi, Garnet. Oh, that's okay. Excellent, thank you. How are you?